I'm Maggie Gordon. I'm a quilter, and one of the things I really like doing is making small quilts that I can either give away as presents or that I can use as contributions to various charitable organizations that I like making quilts for. I found a very quick and easy way to make a small quilt is to use a traditional block that you'd find in a traditional quilt. This is a sampler quilt, and it's got lots of different blocks that one could use. There's a bow tie block, there's a double 9-patch block, but the one that really caught my eye was this block, which is a sort of a shoe fly. We've got 4 squares in the corners, we've got a cross made of a strip of squares, and what I did was to replicate these bigger and make the strips of squares I've changed, as you'll see, and I've added the same configuration around the outside. Another version of the same kind of thing would be to use a block like this, which is a basic courthouse steps block around a printed block with 1, 2, 3, 4 levels, and that, if you enlarge the width of those strips, you could do exactly the same thing and make a really nice quilt. I love black and white, I love black, white and red, and so the quilt I'm going to do is made from my favorite kinds of fabric. One of the things I've chosen is a blackboard with ABCs, with sums, and with various little doodles, cat faces, sunny faces, really fun. Another one, that's for one of the triangles in the triangle squares. The big bit is this rather large scale print, which I think works very well with the black. For the strips, I'm going to use this funny faces, children's faces, and a very simple plain black and white, very, very dark black, and a red check to go into the crosses in the middle. Now I'm going to cut the big squares. I've actually got a 12.5-inch ruler. I want a 12-inch square. So what I'm going to do is cut so that I can cut in the right direction. Turn the board down. Try that side, and there we have a 12.5-inch square. Now I'm going to cut 3.5-inch strips of the other 2 black and whites and the red and white check. Right, now what we have to do is start sewing. That's my favorite part. The first thing we have to do is to draw on the back of both of the light colored squares when you're making these sorts of triangles. This is a quick way to do it without having to stitch a bias seam while it's bias. And now we're ready to go. So I'm going to put a black square and a white square, right sides together. Line up the edges. And off we go. Now I'm going to sew the black and white 3.5-inch strips together using the standard 1/4-inch seam. It up under the machine, and off we go. And what I've now got is a black and white strip. I'm going to take it to the ironing board and I'm going to press it so that the seam is toward the dark side of underneath the dark fabric, so that it doesn't show on the lighter side.